Hello people, welcome back to the channel. My name is Darsh Joshi and I'm a BTech Computer Science and Engineering graduate and I'm currently working as a developer in a tech company. So today's agenda for this video is encapsulation and we'll be learning about public and private variables. Let's get started with that without any further ado. So encapsulation, what does this terminology exactly mean? Let's look into that a little bit better. Let's say the whiteboard which you have here. Also suggest me a better whiteboard app because this is good, but like I don't like this. It's not that good to be liked. Let's say this is a private, this is something public, not public. This is something private. I'll give a good example for this. I just be better. Yeah, this looks better. Anyways, so a good example for this would be, let's take an example of your relationships with people, socio-economic relationships. So something about that should be public, something about that should be private. Like let's talk about siblings because I have a lot of siblings. I have two sisters actually. So our fights remain private all the time. The topics we fight upon, the stuff we fight upon, it's always private. Right? I hope that's the case with you guys. But our relationship, the love we show for each other is public. So yeah, you get the point. That was a weird example, but let's move on. You basically get the point, right? So what is the technical definition of encapsulation? Encapsulation means wrapping data and functions that operate on the data into a single unit called a class. It means also restricting the direct access, you can say, to some variables or some methods so that they cannot be changed accidentally. Like let's take another example instead of the siblings one. I'll remove this one. So let's talk about bank details. For in a case of check deposit, so this case the sender should know your name, maybe. I'm not sure, I don't get checks. Name, maybe your account number and the amount. But they don't need to basically know by saying need to know. Let's change its color, then it should look better, I guess. They don't need to know your account balance or your card details, right? So green is private, and let's take red again. Red here is public. In this case, it's not accessible to the public, but like it's something that the user should know in this case. I wish my camera wasn't so laggy. My experience. Yeah, in this case the user should know only these details, these one, but not these one, green one. They are not, like, for the context they are not useful or like required for the use case. My camera is laggy, so I'll turn it off. Anyways, so you get the point of what the encapsulation does and how it works. Yeah, that's what encapsulation works. That's what it means. Let's move on to the next slide, which about public variables. So public variables are something that can be accessed from anywhere in the program, of course. Like other classes can access it and change its value, maybe update its value, delete its value, maybe. So while this makes the access easy, it can be risky because any part of the program could modify the data incorrectly. It's not something a good programmer would want for their program or whatever they are doing. So because of this, public variables are not usually recommended for sensitive data, as we discussed in the example. Okay, this one. So the user should not know about these details. Let's also add CVV to this. The user should not be knowing about all these details. This is like relevant to their context, so this part is good. Apart from that, there's no use of making the user aware of the non-required details. So yeah, let's look at this with an example. I'll open VS Code and I already have typed the example because this is the second take I'm doing for this video. Anyways, so yeah, this is a class and it's called student. So it is a structure for a student, maybe for a report card or admission criteria, whatever. And it has a constructor which you must have seen in the previous video, and it has the variable age which is set to 20. So this is a good example of public variable. Like age can be modified by anything. Let's do one thing. I'll try to modify that. I'll just print this out first. For that I'll have to make 1 good name. Student and to print it out actually. 1.age, and what we'll do is .age equals say 30. We don't see generally 30-year-old students, but anyways, just copy this line. We are good to go. Let's run this. I have 3 versions of Python installed, by the way. I'll have to do. As you can see, we did change its value very naturally. We didn't really need to do some extensive stuff like getters and setters. So yeah, you get the point of what public variable basically means. Let's move on to the next slide, which should be about private variables. So private variables can only be accessed inside its own class. This means that no other class can directly access or modify them, and only the methods inside the same class can interact with these variables. This helps protect the data and ensures that it is not used incorrectly. Let's take a look at this. Be a good example. Let's do with the same thing. So what we do for a private variable is we just go here and put double underscores there, which makes it a private variable. As you can see, VS Code also tells me that this variable is not accessed and it cannot be accessed. Let's try trying as run that again. As you see, student has no attribute called __ age. It's not letting me access that. And how do we access that? That is something which we'll be seeing in the next video. Try again. same error, so this was not the issue to begin with. Anyways, so like how we access it is a different story. We'll be studying that in the next video. Let's move on to the next slide, which is why use private variable. So there are 4 benefits I've noted down here. Protects important data, prevents accidental modification, improves code readability, and keeps internal details hidden, like we saw in this example. So private variables, they basically prevent other parts of the programs from accidentally changing the value in a way that could break the program. This makes the program or software, whatever you are making, more reliable and easier to maintain. That's a valid enough reason to use private variables. So yeah, that's the core usage of a private variable. Let's move on to simple example. So in this example, let's say owner name is public and it can be accessed freely. Let's take the example of bank account itself. Let's take a look at this from a bird's eye view. So I have a bank account. The bank account, it should have an account number. Every bank account has an account number. It should have some IFSC code. The C stands for code, so I'm not writing code. There would be account holder's name. We'll just call it name for now. Some other details which would expand this topic a little bit unnecessarily, so let's other stuff. Let's keep it simple. So and also one important thing, balance. So this part can be publicly used. So let's mark it as public, and this is maybe not that public, but you get the point. If you're using checks, then you'll need to put this through the check. IFSC code can also be public, but this part is mostly private because you don't want to see my bank account balance. I mean, it won't harm me if you see it because it's really let's not talk about it, but you get the point, like what's private and what's public and what suits in what scenario. So yeah, that was a simple example. I've not written anything here because I wanted to show it graphically. Let's move to the next topic, which should be conclusion. Encapsulation basically helps protect data, control access to the variables, improve the program structure. Private variables are accessible everywhere, and private variables are restricted. Did I say private variable twice? Because the first one should be public. And I think getters and setters, yeah, this is for this video. I guess I have not put it here. I'll put that there, but this is for the next video. I put it accidentally here. But anyways, so yeah, that was today's video, and I hope you really study this well. You can refer to sources like W3 schools. They have really nice explanation for encapsulation. And yeah, that's it for the video, and in the next video we'll be studying about getters. Show you a brief review of that, getters, setters, and add property, and we'll do 2 code challenges in this one. So this is a theme of the videos I make. I basically explain you a concept. We do some practical coding in the VS Code, and then it's up to you to make a project which I gave you, you can put a GitHub link in the comments, or you can go for putting the entire code in the comments. I don't mind. So yeah, that's something you can do to learn these steps in a better way. That's long of a thing. I don't talk usually this much, but yeah, you get the point. Also, we have crossed 36 subscribers yesterday before I was recording this. We already have a course out, so if you don't know Python at all, you should check out this course. We also have Oops playlist. This video is also going into there, and we have a lot of stuff. I need to update the Oops playlist by the time this video gets uploaded. Yeah, if you like this video and my teaching style, then you should definitely subscribe to the channel, and there's a lot of more stuff coming on the channel. Also posted this and 7 people voted yes to this learn public kind of thing, in which I build projects and stuff. It should be short form content because it gives me more views and stuff, so I'll go for that. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you like this video, then please leave a like. Really appreciate liking this video, because why not? If you've learned something new, then you definitely should like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Yeah.